Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. Different this time. We're trying a video podcast as well as the normal audio podcast that you get. Max here. Mark's not here. I think he must be still a bit too angry. How you doing, Mac?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, a bit like Mark, a bit angry, but yeah, we've still got to do this podcast and have a bitch, get it out.
Yeah. Well, normally we talk about every game, but I think it was only this evening that I remembered we actually had a European game before the Arsenal game, but no one remembers that.
Yeah.
We'll just say it was quite a nice victory, routine victory, and then we'll move on. Obviously, Kane does, but yeah.
Yeah, it's to be fair, the European game it left me quite hopeful for the North London derby. I thought, we played quite well. We played well over both halves, which has been quite rare this season. And then it all went to rat shit on Sunday. So I'm still sat here wondering what the fucking hell happened, if I'm perfectly honest.
What do you think did happen? Because no one can accuse Jose of putting out an attacking team. We have the normal three, Mora, who's attacking as well, and we go to defend. And Kane's come out in previous interviews and said that it's not Jose who's telling us to defend. What do you think it was? Do you think the players just didn't turn up? I'm scratching my head still about what happened.
I don't know. I can't see it. I don't actually think I have an explanation as to what the hell happened. It just for whatever reason, it was whether it was an off day or for most of them, or they forgot just what the passion of a North London derby is with no fans. Mate, I'll be honest with you, I've been scratching my head as much as you have to think what the fucking hell happened. I'm sat here puzzled and bemused at the fact that we went into that game and, lucky to get the goal that we did, as fucking sick as it was. Absolutely brilliant goal by Lamela. You'd have thought after that.
Coming to him there.
Yeah, but you'd think just as much as it's after that goal went in, you might have thought, well, this is it. We'll pick up now. We've absorbed 20 minutes or so, half hour of pressure, and but nothing. It was toothless.
I thought the opposite when the goal went in. I thought, well, this allows Jose to sit back and soak up pressure even more now because we've got a lead to hang on to, and then it wasn't that long until they equalised.
Kane has come out publicly and said Jose does not tell the team to sit back, right? As stated. So why the hell did they? Why didn't they think, well, we've got the goal now, let's build on this. The game's turning in our favour potentially. And we didn't. We sat back. It went to rat shit, and then Lamela gets sent off, and then we play the best football we play in the last 10 minutes, as per usual. I'm not, mate. I say I turned the telly off before the full-time whistle went. I couldn't even watch the end of it. I just thought, no, I'm not happy. I think, do you know what? I put a tweet out saying that I don't give a fuck if Tottenham lose. Don't care. Okay, I do, but you know what I mean. I don't care as long as the team show passion, fight, desire, work for the shirt. And they didn't. They showed nothing. It was toothless. If everyone showed the same passion Lamela showed, I reckon it'd have been a different game.
I think he just had a bit too much passion, was too fired up, and then we'll come to his sending off in a bit because I'm still not sure it deserved, but anyway. But yeah, his goal absolutely superb. Just the skill to do that, and he's done it before, so it's not something we haven't seen before. But in the North London derby, but what really got me is I can understand in this League Cup final and playing City, Liverpool sitting back and soaking up pressure. Arsenal are 10th for a reason because they're conceding goals and they're not that good. And we go and sit back against 10th in the league. I mean, if Arsenal were the invincible Arsenals and we played that way, that's fine because
but this is the thing. You sit there and say 10th in the league though, mate. Look at what we've done against teams below that. Yeah. It's been the same story all season. Get a goal. Soak up some pressure. Get a goal. Sit back. Fuck it.
Yeah. But the last 3 games has obviously given us hope, and maybe full storm, where certainly Palace, where it came out in the second half and then killed the game off. European games have pretty much done that through the competition, really. And I thought that was a little bit of a turning point with Bale coming back into the Bale form that we know Kane doing what Kane does. Yeah, it's completely reverted to the type that it was, I don't know, December, January time, and I don't understand why, but like, yeah, I was worried after about 2 minutes because Tierney or Smith Rowe, or the both of them, got behind Doherty twice, and I was not arguing, but having a discussion with some guy on Twitter about Doherty because I had an opinion that it wasn't all his fault. His was he's shit, which you want to have a debate. That's absolutely fine, but you've got to have a reason. But I thought no one's helping him there, and the home game, Aurier was backed up by Sissoko because Jose obviously saw Tierney's the danger man here. We've got to double up on him. And I mean, he probably did get back round a couple of times, but not any that I really noticed. This time he's left Doherty on his own. He's put Bale out on the right, who I'm not sure Bale's got the fitness to go up and down like he used to.
Yeah.
And after 2 minutes, he's got behind him twice. Everyone's obviously having a go at Doherty. He got done for the goal. But you're taught as a young kid, as a winger, aren't you? Like, early doors, go up against your full-back one-on-one. If you skin him, you've got him for the rest of the match. So it gave Tierney all the encouragement in the world after 2 minutes, and Smith Rowe.
Also, but also you're taught as a well, any player, and it's football or rugby. It's a mad, and they're going to be wary of you for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Right. And why don't? And I'll be honest, I'll be happy to see the back of Doherty. I'm not going to lie. He's done nothing this season that's impressed me. He's done nothing to make me think that he's worth a starting place in our squad. As much as Aurier's a liability, that boy's got athleticism. He will take a chance. You know, he'll risk a booking. He'll risk a penalty to put in the challenge to try and stop something from happening. Right. And for that, you've got to give the guy credit. Whereas Doherty, I'm just wondering, you know, where his Arsenal tattoos hidden? I'll be honest. You know, bollocks to deleting those tweets, mate. I think playing Doherty yesterday was a fucking mistake. And I'd have had Dyer at right. I'd have had Dyer at right back over him.
I still think that the way the team was set up with Bale not tracking back there, and Højbjerg was coming over to the right, and then that was obviously leaving huge gaps in the middle. That's where they hit the post twice. I think anyone at right back there without the backup would have struggled, whether it had been Dyer, whether it had been Aurier, you know. And I think Arsenal's game plan was attack that right side. So for me, I'd have swapped Bale and Moura over and tell Moura to track back. But then again, it doesn't always need to be the manager. These are experienced players. Doherty can say, "Oi, Gareth, help me out."
But also at the same time, why not sacrifice Lucas for the first half at least? Play Sissoko. So you've got the three holders in the middle. You know, if you know that you've got Højbjerg going out to cover Doherty, so Bale can venture forward and not have too much defensive responsibility, then play Sissoko, play Højbjerg, play Ndombele, because Ndombele drops back. He does it really well. He's proven how he does it with the way he gets the ball and he tries to carry it. Højbjerg breaks shit up, and Sissoko, he might be a bit of a donkey at times, you know, and galloping around that pitch, but he will get in your grid, and he's an intimidating character. You know, if you've got him, you know, played Aurier at the back, you know, and you've got him and Sissoko like he did in the first North London derby, you know, and I don't see why he changed from what he had in the first one. You had a recipe there that worked during the first one. Now there's no fans, so technically there's no home advantage. So why not go with the same, you know, same type of way of playing and a similar sort of setup, and that to me just seems a bit weird, especially seeing as Arsenal, like Tottenham, have had a good run of games. You know, a good couple, you know, some decent results, so picking up some wins, some confidence. You know, and don't get me wrong, depending on how the rest of the season goes, they might still finish below us. But it's kind of not the point for us. It's, every game's important. We want to see Tottenham win. These people are going, oh, shit football. Well, we've got 3 points. To me, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
But I don't want us to finish outside of a European place and go, oh, yeah, great, yeah, no St. Totteridge Day today because we finished above them. I don't want to see that. I want us to be clear of Arsenal because we're a better fucking team than they are. Don't forget to put the parental guidance on this as well. I swear too much. Just realised. But yeah, I don't want that. I want this season to end, with us clear of Arsenal. A couple of finals. Hopefully, we're already in one, but I'm hoping for one more, and to be top 5.
Yeah, but like you said, that's what I don't understand. The fact that he identified Tierney and their left side as the danger in the first game, and then we nullified that, and then he allows free reign of it in the second game. So that's where I put the blame on Jose here. But then I've always said North London derbies and derbies in general doesn't generally matter where the teams are, it's who wants it more. So that's what I put on the players. And if Kane is right in saying that Jose doesn't say sit back, then the players aren't listening to him, and that's on the players. But I have no idea why it went so wrong.
But as much as you sit there and say that's on the players, if they're not listening to Jose, then you've got to ask why aren't they listening to Jose?
But we thought that, well, me and Mark did a podcast after the Chelsea game where we thought that Jose's got to go because they don't care. And then obviously went on that little run with, okay, maybe they do. I don't want the manager to be fired. I want Jose to stay. He's earned the chance to get in that final and win that trophy. But as soon as the players don't give a shit about the manager anymore, it's untenable, really. But
I think the clear out.
They do care, but that was back to that question.
Yeah, I'll be honest, mate. I think a clear out's needed. I think a clear out's needed at the and I think there's a clear out definitely needed with Tottenham at the moment. I think there's stuff that fuck it. Yeah, I think we need to look at. I think Jose needs another window, maybe. He needs Levy to really let go of the purse strings to be able to buy the quality of player that he knows Tottenham and he needs to be able to make any kind of impact. And he needs to cut a lot of the dead wood. And if what is been read in the papers and stuff is true, that the only way Tottenham are going to have transfer funds this transfer window is by selling players, I can see Kane going. The money that he will bring in, you could look at 2 really quality players for the money that Kane would bring in. You could be looking at, a decent centre back in Skriniar, and I mentioned him just because he's the best one that I think we were linked to during the transfer window. Dybala, you're looking at 80, and if you get £140 million for Kane, then there's 2 positions covered. You've got somebody who can score goals, and you've got somebody who can score goals as well as defend really, really well. But then you've also got to look at who you cover for your right back position. It's there's all these places I think that Tottenham need to improve based on this season, or and I think it just, I don't know, 3 signings, 4 or 5 let go. It could be a different year next year, but we've said this every year since we become Tottenham fans.
I saw an interesting tweet earlier that it was mainly the players that are the dead wood there. They're, I think, 29, 28 at the earliest. So the tweet was, there's not a huge resale value there. And Levy, as we know, seems to want top dollar for every single player. If they're the players to go, you're not necessarily going to get that. So then he's got a decision. Do you take, I don't know, £5-10 million less, which is something that historically he doesn't ever do?
Yeah.
For the greater good, and I'm not sure. But and then with Kane, will he invest that wisely? Which, say 150 million. I mean, that 150 million has to go into players.
Without question. If
will it be invested wisely by Jose, Levy, whoever,
Well, to be fair,
we don't know.
You look at what happened when Bale got sold, but I think we've got a better structure. Maybe not necessarily. We still got Levy, but take Levy out of it. I do think we have a slightly better structure, within the club now as regards buying and selling players, and or who to kind of get. And Jose knows his shit anyway, so he'll know who the kind of player he's looking for. So with his input as well, I think that it'll be reinvested back into the squad, and it'll be reinvested in the places Jose thinks he needs it. It's just whether or not anything comes of it. Do I think you look at the squad now? I do. I think Doherty needs to go. I think Winks. I don't want Winks to go because I like Winks, but I think he will probably end up going. I think Skip will come back and play a bit more of a prominent role next season.
I saw a tweet saying that we want him in the first team squad next season, so I think he's definitely in the first team squad.
I think for me, he's the natural replacement for Winks on the bench because he's a young lad. Play the cup games, start playing with Tottenham, training with Tottenham, play the cup games. But to be fair though, as well, you look at, we're saying that we're only talking about Kane going and anything up to 150 million pounds, but also you look at Lloris. There's talk of him wanting to leave. And we're not going to sell him cheap to Paris Saint-Germain if that's where he chooses to go. Although I doubt he will, because Keylor Navas, isn't it, their goalkeeper? The guy's a fantastic goalkeeper. He's probably better than Lloris, and he's playing some really good football. So unless Lloris is happy to see out the next couple of years as a reserve keeper, as a number 2, just to go back to France and have a big payday, then that's fair enough. That's up to him. But yeah, I think you could still look at probably 40 million for maybe Lloris, because he's still got a good couple of years left in him. It's who we get to replace these people. There's talk of Nick Pope. Do I think he's good enough for Tottenham? Not with the defence that we've got.
Well, Peter Schmeichel
and that's
isn't good enough for Tottenham with that defence at the moment.
But you get what I mean, though. And a keeper's only as good as their defence, And Nick Pope has done wonders for Burnley, played in goal for them, and he's brought out some brilliant performances with a really shit defence in front of him, But when you playing against Burnley is a bit different to playing against Tottenham. For whatever reason, everybody seems to turn it up just a little bit against Spurs. And yeah, if the defence is having a shit one with Nick Pope, who is not as good as Lloris, in my opinion, you're looking at hefty losses.
Yeah. Well, Lloris is 34, so in the next few seasons he's going anyway, whether that be retirement or going back to France.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a good keeper, I mean, anything under the 40 million, unless you get really lucky, isn't going to happen. But in terms of the defence, Sanchez, he's obviously had his critics. He gave away the penalty, which ultimately won the game. Penalty or not, the thing that came out from VAR, which has said they didn't think it was a penalty, but they can't overturn the referee. So we've mentioned VAR on this a lot and how ridiculous it is, but that's what it's there for, to overturn the referee if he gets it wrong. I do think when I first saw it, it was like, that's a definite penalty. He's gone charging in there completely out of control.
Whereas I thought he'd got the ball with it being going off that way rather than a Lacazette miskick.
Lacazette has miskicked it, and then if he didn't miskick it, Sanchez has got a really good chance in a really good position of blocking it with his foot. So I don't think it was a penalty, but it came from an awful. I'm not sure if it was a goal kick or a defender kicking it, because they never showed that on Sky or Match of the Day, but it was a wayward kick that went straight to Pepe, who pinged it straight into Lacazette. So whoever did that kick, whether it's Lloris, Alderweireld, Sanchez, one of the fullbacks, I don't know, it's come from that. But for VAR not to overturn something that they think is wrong because the referee said he thinks it's right is just absolutely ridiculous. But on the other flip of the coin, it's what Arsenal deserve, because as much as we're going to hate to say it, they deserve to win that game. But apart from the last 10 minutes, and then...
You know what, but yeah, this is the thing. It doesn't matter how you are in the last 10, mate. And the bottom line is, you look at the stats, you can look at anything else in the world. The only thing that matters is what's in the top left corner, But again, you talk about VAR, it goes back to the inconsistency of what is VAR. You know, Sanchez, if Lacazette gets a good contact on that, Sanchez has blocked it. Right? He didn't, he fucked it. The ball wasn't within his control and his momentum carried him into Lacazette. Okay, so for me, that's not so to me that's not a penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. You know, and then you look at Liverpool versus Wolves. You know, Alisson's momentum carries him into Semedo, takes him out, right, injures him, and that's not a penalty.
Yeah.
It's and again, and it's the age-old argument with VAR, and we call it the age-old argument, even though VAR is 2 years old. You know, the it's inconsistency, and it's inconsistency time and time and time again, and this is what is fucking people off. I would, if that was a penalty, fine, but then call the one against Alisson in the Wolves game a penalty. You know. If something's a foul and a red card in one game, make sure it's the same in the next three. I don't. It's the same as like I say in my tweet with Tottenham. You know, as long as they show, I don't give a fuck if they call something that you would never call a pen. You know, before VAR in your life, a pen. As long as you do that every single time it happens, no one's gonna argue. And this is the problem. There is no consistency. And because there's no consistency, everybody then turns around and goes, VAR shit. Well, actually, no, it's the people who operate. Okay, fine. The refs are shit. Well, which one is it? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's the referees, because the VAR is looked at by a different referee each time, so it's still open to interpretation. But
they should still be looking. Surely these referees should be, or the Referees Association should be turning around and saying, right, we don't really think that was a penalty, but it was given. So purely for consistency's sake, you know, for transparency and whatever else you want to call it, anything else like that, where even if the player's miscontrolled it and takes out the attacking player, then it needs to be a penalty. All right. Make sure you stick with the status quo, guys, because otherwise we're going to get fisted.
Yeah. I did see a tweet. I'm not sure if it was a tweet by someone or someone relaying a tweet from like official source that VAR is going to be reviewed at the end of the season. But whether that is or not, I don't know. But Lamela's red card, I thought the first yellow card was harsh. It's again one of those things where he's quite clearly got the ball there. And you talk about passion. He was one of the only ones who showed any passion. But
his passion was brilliant.
Quite clearly got the ball there. But regardless of whether that's a yellow card or not, you're on a yellow card. You can't be swinging your arm.
But he didn't. He put his arm out. For me, he's fending off. He's put his arm out, right, to fend the player off. Okay, he might have misjudged the distance, but it wasn't much. It catches him here, and he goes down like he's just been smacked by Tyson Fury. You know, Tierney's supposed to be a big, hard jock.
But then,
mate, you went down like a fucking lettuce leaf.
But playing devil's advocate, that's exactly what Lamela did at Old Trafford with Martial. Some people...
Mate, no, listen, no, that was a bang-on smack in the face, that. I don't care what anybody says against Man United. Martial took him out. Yep, mate, it was... All it was missing was gloves and gum shields. Yeah. So...
What is absolutely ridiculous is we go down to 10 men, then we start playing football. I don't know if that's we've got nothing to lose here. We either go out with a whimper with 10 men and we have a go, or Arsenal sat back thinking they could catch us on the counter attack, and that
probably a bit of both.
It was like a different team turned up. Like Kane hits the post, wonderful cross free kick from Mora, which he's just offside. Sanchez slips just as he shoots after Kane's shot comes off the post. I mean, play like that against 10th in the league for the whole game, I think, you know, and then sort out that left-hand or right-hand side, like we've mentioned, completely different game. I think it's fairly comfortable.
It is, but again, it's always ifs, buts, maybe, shoulda, woulda, couldas. Bottom line is, we had no passion in that game, and 5 minutes in, you could see. You know, I'll be honest with you, I had no confidence. 5 minutes into that game, any confidence I had for that game had gone. I'm sat there thinking, where is this passion? Where is this intensity? Where's the fight that I saw in the first North London derby? and it wasn't there. And that's probably the thing that is the thing that pisses me off the most about the whole thing. All right, I can handle losing. Again, I'm repeating myself, but I can handle losing. Just fight for the fucking shirt. Put in the tackles. Put up a fight. Make it look like you're up for this game. If you don't, then fuck off.
That's what I can't understand either. Like, ignore Loris because he's in goal, so doesn't really. But he can shout to people. But you've got Alderweireld there, who's played in North London derbies before.
Yeah.
Who shows passion every single time he gets on the pitch. Undon Bale, he's played in a couple, but Bale's son Kane and more have all played in. So
yeah,
at least half a team there who know what this means. Obviously, I mean, we put a lot of fight into that home game, and there were no fans there. Although there were 2,000, wasn't there? But
yeah.
But even whether that makes that much difference or not, because it's a huge stadium, so whether you're going to hear that, but yeah. But like you, 2 minutes, 5 minutes was like we're in trouble here if we don't sort that.
It's
and we never did.
Mate, the whole thing is just it was depressing. It was depressing. And yeah, what do you do about it? There's nothing you can do about it because we're not there to cheer them on. We're not there to encourage or give them shit at the ground. It was just depressing, really depressing, mate. And I felt like shit on Sunday night after it all. It was it was awful.
Some people on Twitter were saying, "Oh, Son's injury changed things and caused that." That was about half hour into the game when we'd been dog shit for like the last 25 minutes. But
one player doesn't make a team, does he? So it shouldn't have made a blind bit of difference about Sonny going off or not.
I mean, there's rumours he might be back against Villa. It's not as bad as he thought. Do you think we'll see a reaction against Villa? I think we're at home, aren't we? Are we at home?
No, I think we're away. But I don't think we'll see.
Think we'll see us sit back again and.
I don't think we'll see Son for Villa. I think because if he plays for Villa, then he's got to go and play that fucking stupid friendly for South Korea, and the boy could probably do with a bit of a break. So I think Jose will probably play it smart, keep Son out of the starting lineup on Sunday, so that then when we come back after the international break, hopefully we can hit the ground running with Sonny and Kane and Bale and everybody else. Do I think we'll see a reaction? I don't know, because Villa are going through a bit of a shit run of form. And like every club going through a shit run of form, here comes Dr. Tottenham. We'll sort it out for you. So I'm sat there thinking to myself, we should react. We should, hit Villa early, couple of goals, 2-3 goals by half time, and hope and not concede. But at the same time, Dr. Tottenham will probably turn up and we'll go 1-0 up and we'll lose 3-1. It just seems to be the case at the moment.
Yeah. What do you think about it? He looked obviously angry when he came off 57 minutes, which do you think that's because he was taken off, because we were terrible, because he didn't have a good game, or combination of absolutely?
I don't think he was any worse than any other player. I don't. I can understand his frustration, because if you look at Kane, hardly had a touch. Apart from Lamela and Mora, right? Kane didn't have a touch, but they didn't pull Kane off. Why did they take Bale off when he still had the ability to do something?
Him, didn't it? The long crossfield ball to Reguilon was him.
Yeah.
I think he put a cross in, didn't he, on the right hand side, the outside of his left foot. I think that, and for the goal, was the only time he got given the ball in any kind of dangerous area.
But he still had. But he's that player who, and it was like Eriksen, and it's a bit like Timo Werner has been sometimes this season for Chelsea. They might be quiet for 80 minutes, then all of a sudden it'll be one pass, great goal, changes a game, or they score the goal that changes the game. I'd have left Bale on personally. You had Lamela, but to be fair, at the point of the substitution, they probably should have taken Lamela off and subbed the sub, because of how close he was sailing to the wind. And let Bale and Mora continue fighting forward. But I'd have only taken Lamela off because of the booking. Apart from that, for me, he was the best player. Even with his sending off, he was still like, he showed the passion, the desire, the fight that you want. And red card or not, I was happy with him.
I thought he was going to get sent off because just before we got the second yellow, he went screaming in on someone. Can't remember who it was. And, I mean, that was a silly challenge, certainly for someone who's on a yellow. And they didn't really show too many replays of it, but it looked like he'd gone diving in, which when you're on a yellow is just so
reckless. Yeah.
So maybe the referee saw that. I don't know if the second yellow VAR got involved, but if they did, they may have seen that first one and said to the referee he should have gone off then. So that's why easy.
Yeah, enough's enough. Yeah, and it's entirely possible.
Yeah,
it's entirely possible. But either way, regardless of his red card, he was head and shoulders above everybody else.
He brings energy, doesn't he? And yeah.
Energy, shithousery, determined. He's like a little terrier, mate. He's a terrier, and I like Lamela, always have, and I like what he brings to it. He lets his passion bubble over a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it's the first time he's had a red card for Tottenham, which is crazy, isn't it? Really?
Well, because
challenges I've seen him do, but look. I'd be putting him straight back in the team, or certainly in the squad when he comes back, because, like you say, he shows passion every time.
No, for me, he's a starter on Thursday. I'd have Lamela up because he's now going to be out for the Villa game. Yeah. I'd play him on Thursday. Play him on Thursday. Play him with Ali on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because unless Jose's got some kind of something up his sleeve where Ali's going to be used against Villa, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't see Sun playing. We're 2-0 up. They've just lost their manager due to tax evasion and fraud. Dynamo Kiev. Yeah, they're Dynamo Zagreb. Sorry, yeah, they've lost their manager now. He's been sentenced to 4 years, 8 months in prison for tax evasion and fraud.
I saw something on Twitter saying, how does it feel to have your manager in prison? I thought something Jose smacked someone.
No. They looked at his hard drive. No, he's been their manager's been banged up and getting banged up. I don't know whether them having a different manager will give the bounce back effect or not. But I'll be honest, I don't think I'll see Kane. I don't think we'll see Kane starting on Thursday. It depends how much he prioritises the game against Villa and how important it is to get 3 points against Villa compared to maybe progressing in the UEFA Cup. Although personally, I think he needs to do both. He needs 3 points and he needs to progress.
I think. But if we beat Arsenal. With 3 points off Chelsea, I think, who were in fourth at the time, game in hand, back in that fourth place. So I think possibly, I think if
I'll be honest, I think we still got a chance.
Champions League, where it's a little bit. It's not impossible by any stretch, but it's.
I think we should, mate. I'll be honest with you. There's two games for me coming up that are going to totally fuck it up for us. Okay, if we lose against United. And we lose against Leicester, mate, top four's gone. Yeah. Top four's gone.
I think
and that's not to mention everyone else either.
Yeah. I think if top four has gone or is looking like going, and we're still in the Europa League, he'll prioritise that. I think, and then that's where you'll see Kane, Son, Bale.
We're going to need to see. The problem we've got is you look at who's still left. All right, if we beat Zagreb. At the moment, Arsenal safely through. They had a good result against Olympiacos, 3-1 up. But Olympiacos have got the away goal. In fact, have they got? Yeah, I think it was a home. No, it wasn't. Actually, Arsenal got 3 away goals. So they're basically through. United have to go to Milan and score because it's 1-1 currently. Yeah, Milan. Huh?
You wouldn't want either of those.
No, but Milan's got the away goal. You know, so they're in the stronger position than United. It's just whether or not their defence can stay resolute in the second leg for them to go through. And if Zlatan's able to play, then hopefully he comes on, scores a goal and bites him in the arse. But because there's no safety from country or anything else, as Tottenham's luck is right now, it wouldn't surprise me if we pulled out Arsenal or United in the next round. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, you know. But either way, but even if United didn't get through, you don't want Milan. You don't really want Arsenal. It's either way now. You're looking at anything now moving forward in Europe is tough. And I know a cup game, it's all what, you know, it's over 2 games, anything can happen. But yeah, I wouldn't trust us against Arsenal United. No. To be able to get over that finishing, you know, over the finishing line to be able to get to the next round. I just don't think that just with the way we are at the moment against you know, the way we are playing in the league, I just don't know what would change just because it's the UEFA Cup thing.
Yeah. I think it's one bad result in the league, but after 3 good results, but it's a big kick in the teeth. A, it's because it was Arsenal, and B, because of how awful we were and uninterested we looked. But I mean, so there has to be a reaction against Villa, I think. Otherwise,
there has to be, but whether there will be,
yeah, but
is it?
I think if there is, then it won't be forgotten. The Arsenal game, it'll be like, okay, maybe it was a one-off. Let's see if they can go on a run. If it's similar to the Arsenal game or we lose, then it's.
Do you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me whether we win or we lose against Villa. Bottom line is we lost to Arsenal. Yeah. You know, it's the Israelis versus the Palestinians. You know what I mean? It's that's what it is. You know, the nomad invaders, and we got beat by them. It technically on our own, even in our own backyard, even though it was their ground, because North London's ours. You know your history. You know North London is Tottenham, regardless of the fact that the Emirates is over the road. You know, we got done by them, and it's the way we got done by them.
Yeah.
What you've said, I think, would be right if Tottenham got beat scrapping like a pair of terriers, you know, over a bone. I think you're right. No issues there because we gave it the fight. It was a bad decision by the ref that lost us a game. That's how we would be talking about it. We'd go out, we'd spank Villa, and it'd be like, it's all right, no worries, back on course, let's go. It's the manner in which we have lost, but it's also the manner in which we have lost so many times or drawn so many times this season.
Yeah.
Right, with a negative display. And that is what is gripping the shit of Tottenham fans. You know, some people more than others, but it is, bottom line is, we're playing some really negative football, which we're not used to. No. You know, the older fans of us, even the 90s teams, they were negative defensive sides. You know, when Sheringham was playing, when we had Ginola, Klinsmann, Rolf Fox bombing down the wing. But it's the type of football we're playing, and because we're not getting the results, if we were playing boring football and grinding out the 1-0s, the 2-1s, the 2-0s, people would still moan, but they wouldn't have anything to moan about really because we've still got the points on the board. And it's the manner in which we're losing and drawing these games that makes it worse.
Yeah, it was 2 teams I hate the most have been the worst performances I've seen. That's Chelsea and Arsenal, and they're the 2 teams I cannot stand and hate the most, and we've just turned up and died against them pretty much, and just. And like
mate, we've rolled out.
Those players know what the passion should be and what it means to the fans, and they've just turned up, not done anything. But yeah,
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't. We know the passion, even not being at the ground. We know the passion of a North London derby. Sat alone in our living rooms. You know, me telling my kids it's North London derby, trying to G them up, trying to make them realise, you know, this is a big game. You know, but none of that was on the pitch for them. It's just like again, going back to what we said towards the beginning, how the fuck can you not realise what a North London derby means? You know, you look at some of the players that we do have. A Midlands derby is a fiery derby. You know, you look at where Bale came from. the French derbies can be quite, ferocious, at least fans wise and atmosphere, because obviously the football's slightly different that they play. But they all know what a derby means. They all know what it's like to play a fierce rival. It's not like these lads are straight off the streets, never played football, didn't even know what football was, and then gone, oh yeah, they're our fiercest rivals, boys. You now have to get G'd up. Well, I don't know the history. I don't know this. I don't know that. I've never done this derby situation before. No, bollocks, mate. They've all played derbies. They should all know what it means. They should all get out on it.
Yeah. We've said it before. You've said it. I've said it. That's what really cheesed me off about it. Just the lack of passion, and then we get a man sent off, and then we suddenly decide to show a bit. Like, it's a 90-minute match, not a 10. But yeah, it's just
And if it was 0-0, you'd kind of understand them going all out.
Yeah.
But we've not shown enough, and I'm done talking about it now, to be perfectly honest. I'm just making myself feel worse.
40 minutes in, so it's probably a good time to end.
Well, to be fair, this is the first video that we've done, so people are actually going to really see the faces to the voices. So I hope our 12 or so listeners who decide to come and have a watch aren't too put off. I've tried to make myself look presentable. Chris, you did what you could, so fair play, mate.
I couldn't do anything. This is what you get.
It is though. It's a first time, so I'm hoping that when this goes out and the people see it, they like it. It's because I'll be honest, I enjoy doing this a lot more, being able to see you and Mark when he's with us. I think it's a lot nicer to have the face to face, especially with everything that's still going on.
Yeah, well, me and you got to do the Flatback 4 podcast with Andy and Scott, which I thought was so much better, even watching it rather than just listening to it. So yeah, I think
that's the thing, mate. But that's the thing, though. Those guys were absolutely spot on, and they weren't bad looking. We have got a face for radio. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that people ain't getting put off by watching it.
Yeah. So, well, that's the name of their podcast, Faces for Radio. That'll do nicely.
Yes.
Cheers, everyone who's been watching, listening. As always, you can still listen to this in the normal way: Anchor, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to it. You can also obviously watch this on YouTube, pending that this actually uploads and I know what I'm doing. But yeah, so on Twitter at LTalk Tottenham for the podcast, at cphillips2510 for me, at Mac1882THFC for Mac. Mark, who's not with us, at 1981 Spur. And yeah, this will be uploaded at some point tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be back talking about a bit more positive games and a bit of fight, but yeah, we can only hope.
That's it. Take care of them.
Yeah. Okay.